And in typical Dennis style, he's like, wow, that's crazy, I gotta come party with you. And I'd never met this guy, Richard. I'd met Dennis once, and we went out, had a meal and a few beers with about 60 other people that night, and it was good times, good people. This ain't a dress rehearsal, you got one shot in life, so enjoy it.
I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. Look at beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
I really appreciate you turning out, and I know Chiro does. And I gotta tell you, this is one of the coolest events I've been to, and I've been to a lot of car events. This is really cool.
So, hopefully you've seen the make or break episodes we shot at the inaugural Petrolheadonism live show from September 2021. My buddy Chiro has now announced that Richard Rawlings is going to return to Nebworth for the second Petrolheadonism live in September 2022. Anybody who watched Fast and Loud on Discovery or the GasMonkey YouTube channel knows that one of Richard Rawlings' closest friends is Big Chris. And there's absolutely no way Rawlings would have come to the UK if Big Chris hadn't convinced him that it would be well worth the long flight. I've known Chris since 2015, and when I went to Texas at the end of 21, I had the chance to get the big story from the big man himself. So Chris, I met you in the UK, and I just want to know what your origins are. You're a massive car guy over here, and you've been, well presented in the Fast and Loud world, but, where did you come from? What's your background story?
Pretty much like everyone else, it started out as a hobby. American cars mainly. My brothers were into American cars in the UK. They were going drag racing all the time, going to the Chelsea Cruise last Saturday of every month. And I went with them as a 10-year-old.
Wow.
So they didn't have to stay in and babysit me when my mum and dad were out. So I was around the cars from a young age, a lot of the hot rods, as well as the muscle cars. So it was really good for me. I enjoyed it, and then they progressed into drag racing. And I had my first, by the way, I did my first run what you brung with a V8 at the age of 18.
Wow.
And then I purchased my first race car. That was a little bit later. I was probably about 25, 26, which was a Dodge Challenger with a 440, not for the road, just a race car.
Yeah.
And then I went up to a methanol burning 588 cubic inch 68 Charger, back aft car on 33s.
Wow. So you've really explored kind of all the edges, really, haven't you, with muscle cars in the UK. It's quite, not a lot of people understand around the world that Generation 2 Dodge Chargers are the holy grail in England as well as they are in Europe,
100%, they're iconic as hell. And after my brothers and I, we had a family construction business, and I wanted to do something else. So I started up a company called East Coast Muscle Cars in the UK, which led me to travel to America purchasing cars each month to ship back to Europe.
Yep.
And I had my own import company.
Wow.
And that led to further things afterwards, a lot of European classics.
Yeah.
E-types, Heelys, that sort of stuff.
The real English muscle cars, really, from back in the 60s, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they were proper sports cars, and there was a lot more of them here than there are in the UK, just because of the size and head of population.
Yeah.
A lot of pickup trucks as well, F1s, F100s, C10s, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of carved the market for that stuff early on, which was very kind to me, and eventually got me to America.
That's amazing. I mean, a lot of people know you as Richard Rawlings' British friend. I mean, how did that happen? How did you meet him?
Through a mutual friend, through Dennis Collins. I got a phone. Actually, no, I didn't get a phone. I called an ad in Hemmings. It said, wanted, Challenger RT, dead or alive. And I've been out on vacation to America and picked up this copy. It's basically like our auto trader. And I called the number just to see if the car that I'd purchased in the UK would make me any money if I was to send it back to America. This was the time that Berry-Jackson had really took off, and everything was telephone numbers. And I spoke to this guy at the end of the phone who thought it was obscene that this guy in the UK was running a 446 back around London with the fuel prices. And his name was Dennis. And in typical Dennis style, he's like, wow, that's crazy, I gotta come party with you. So I kept in touch with him, and then he called me about 2 months later and says he's got a buddy called Richard. He had a GT500, a 67. He sold to a client in, I think it was Finland. And he couldn't. The guy in Finland wanted to sell the car, and it had sat in a showroom. It hadn't turned a wheel, but he didn't know how to get it out of there. And a lot of the people I was racing with at the drag strip, they were doing, at the time, this was before I had my own company, but they were import, export, all kinds of stuff. And I thought, well, if they're doing it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I had his car airlifted. I remember making the phone call, the initial phone call. I was sat on a 360 digger, building a house at the time, and spoke to the shipping company and got everything sorted and had it airlifted back to DFW for him.
Wow. That's something else, isn't it?
It is. I was kind of surprised myself, actually. Anyway, car got back. They were all happy. Can we send you some money? I'm like, no, you're fine. Just buy us a drink when you see us. And I knew they did the gumball and the bull run, and I always wanted to do that kind of thing. So it all worked out. I think it was 06. Dennis came across with Aaron Kaufman for the gumball in London. I was at the opening party. I took my brother with me. It was kind of cool. Got to meet a lot of interesting and cool people from that I'd recognised from some of the DVDs that were out at the time from Max's event.
Yeah.
And Dennis gave me an invite, because you needed an invite then to do the bull run. You needed someone to vouch for you so you could drive. So next year I did the bull run, but I didn't really have Ferrari or Lambo money like a lot of people did. And I knew it was 30 years, actually to the month the event, it started, that it was Smokey and the Bandit was made. So I said, have you got a 77 or 78 Trans Am? He goes, no, but my buddy Richard has. I'm like, okay, cool, let's find out what he wants. And it was a one-owner California car. So I spoke to him on the phone. Long story short, I said, if you build it, motor, trans, rear end, brakes, just go through everything. Because I think I paid 20 grand to enter the event, which was pretty reasonable money. It was a lot of money. I mean, it's still a lot of money now, but I didn't want to break down in a car after the first day.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's refunds or anything. You brought that car. That's not our problem, which is fair enough. So I spent, like the next 6 or 7 months, every couple of weeks getting in touch with this Richard guy, saying, can you send me some pictures? And he kept saying no. I just thought that was hilarious. I kept cutting checks or wiring him money, and then he sent me a picture in the end, and all I could see was a rear quarter panel and a wheel. It was the biggest burnout you've seen. And I was like, I just put all my money in that and you're abusing it. And he just started laughing at me down the phone. So I left with a buddy of mine to do the bull run, and it started in Montreal in Quebec, Canada. I flew in there, and about 12 hours later, these two Texan guys, really loud, they flew in and gave me the keys to my car, which was being delivered with theirs, and another friend from New Orleans, he had a Rentec Mercedes AMG, and they were all being delivered at the same time. So it was actually, even though I bought the car sort of 6-7 months before, I hadn't seen it at that point, and I had never met this guy Richard. I'd met Dennis once, and we went out, had a meal and a few beers with about 60 other people that night, and it was good times, good people, and known each other ever since.
That's amazing. A lot of people think that, because Richard's like a big personality now, and he's such a people person on the show, he's always with his fans, he's always stuff, that these relationships get formed quickly, and people are riding people's coattails. People don't understand that you had a life before Richard as well. You've earned the relationship, you've earned the respect because of what you've done in your life. You know what I mean? You're not just a nobody that's turned up with a checkbook. You've got the real respect of Richard and Dennis.
I've done a lot in the car scene, buying and selling and racing and whatnot before. But even when I opened East Coast Muscle Cars up, I'd be buying a lot of cars from Dennis and Richard. A lot of turnover with them. So it would involve a lot of shipping out of the port of Houston, and back then I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know where to buy the cars from, and I go to different good guy shows all over the States, and in the end it was just futile because you didn't need to. All you had to do was come to Texas, because it's dry state, and the quality of cars was better. You don't generally go to Chicago or Maine or
New Jersey.
yeah, stuff gets affected like it does in the UK there with the weather and the salt on the roads.
So you found the Holy Grail estate by accident, really?
Kind of so, yeah.
So with Fast and Loud, obviously that has given you some opportunities in your life that you wouldn't have had, like the racing and stuff. What has Fast and Loud done for you? Or GasMonkey, should we say? Because it's not just Fast and Loud. Basically, GasMonkey's done it for you, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very broad question.
Okay.
I feel that it's given me a lot of good times with my friends. Got to travel, experience different places, different people, different companies. Especially, the industry is huge, and I got to meet people that I would never have got to meet. But not just like a meet and greet. I got to hang out with people and spend some time with them over the dinner table and things like that, which I'm very, very grateful for. And at the same time, you can never lose focus, because in the early days it was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, doing that. And then as time goes by, you're kind of spoiled by it. Yeah. And that's the one thing you can never take for granted. I say take for granted, but never forget, because there's a lot of people out there that basically give their left nut to do some of the stuff I've done or we've done over the past years and so forth. So I consider myself very lucky to have been and be in that position. Extremely lucky.
It's amazing. I mean, another thing, big thanks to you for convincing Richard, to come over with his lovely lady and yourself to the UK, Nebworth House. And how did Nebworth House stack up to other shows you've been to? What was your opinion of it?
That's a easy one to answer. It was one of the best shows we've done, literally. And I'm not being polite when I say that, because I feel allegiance to the UK.
Yeah.
It was. Sorry, I just got to do a little snicker of a manoeuvre here. It was amazing, because it was back in the homeland, which it was great to be back in the UK, especially the pandemic had caused so many issues for everybody. But to show my buddy, after telling him all this time, what kinds of cars there are in the UK, from 100-point restored muscle cars, Mopars, to some of the best hot rods that you can see. It's not just an American thing. It happens in every other country. Sweden or anywhere else. It's great. So for him to see that, and for me to actually know some of the faces from the drag strip and some of the shows over the years, was particularly nice. I enjoyed that very much.
That's amazing. And what do you reckon Richard thought of it?
He loved it.
Yeah. He
did. I made him eat fish and chips, which was brilliant for me. Because I've been trying to get him to do that for a long time, and drink some real ale. But it was just different. And I think one of the main things for him and his good lady was seeing some of the older country, going to a cathedral and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
Some of the stuff that's not available in America, as good and as amazing in America as, we still have a few things we're proud of, right?
A couple of things up their sleeve there, but no, it was cool. It was good times.
So what are you doing now in the US? What's your main line of business? As people are out there looking for cars, that kind of stuff, is that something you're still doing? Or talk to me about what you're doing now. How do you put bread on the table?
It's still kind of varied, because especially with COVID, everyone's had to turn their hand to different things and diversify, and predominantly, yes, I'm still in the automotive world for the most part, and I still get phone calls from clients, pre-existing and new. Do I want to go and inspect a car? Can you find me this car? Can you buy me this car? It just goes on, and I still do historical paperwork for classic vehicles, mainly European stuff, and supply those people with what they need for their vehicles. I do some marketing and media as well. My brother's company is up there, and my family live here now, and they build new Mustangs, C10s. Full-on resto mods, blown coyotes in them, and just real nice stuff. And I still get to hang out with my buddies and do the odd bit of stuff with Richard here and there, and get to have a beer with my friends and whatnot. I get to do some racing. I kind of got into the European stuff more, which was kind of funny for me in my mind to move here and come away from muscle cars a bit and go more into Porsche and stuff like that.
Yeah.
'Cause it kind of seems a little bit arse backwards, but yeah, it's not an ideal world, is it? You just do these things, so.
It's amazing. I mean, you see Dennis has joined the YouTube, bandwagon, and Richard's on there now, smashing out the park. When are we going to see the life in, the world in the life of Big Chris? Because you've done some amazing stuff with the Porsches you found. When are we going to get the day in the life of Big Chris?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not really the I want a YouTube channel kind of guy.
Yeah.
I know you guys do that. They do that. I'm more of I sit down with a book and read the reference stuff. I'm a little bit quieter than that.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing the stuff where I'm on YouTube or the TV when it's someone else's. It's just not really my avenue of pursuit. So you're probably going to end up reading more about my stories than you are hearing them from me.
No worries.
So that's who I am.
Well, the only book I've read since I was 15 years old is Richard Rawlings' book. So you're the second on my list. So you better hurry up and write me a book, Chris.
Well, I'm in the process of writing one at the moment with the historical finds
That'd be
that
amazing.
I found. So you'll be able to read that one.
That's awesome. So one last question, just to finish it up. So you're here in the States now. What does the future hold for you? Are you going to be US bound the rest of your life? Are you coming home? How can you escape this, right? In my opinion.
No, I mean that's a fair question. I mean everyone's got where you're going to be in 5 years, 10 years. I spent 10 years pursuing coming here with my good lady, and the US is it's massive. For those of you that haven't been to the US and you're listening to this back in the UK, you can fit the UK inside the state of Texas over 3 times.
Wow.
It's huge, and that's just one state. So you travel, always traveling. New experiences and memories. Got to create them. This ain't a dress rehearsal. You got one shot in life, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like my racing. I want to continue doing that. Still lucky to have the support of GasMonkey that helped me with my racing, and I like the heat.
The American dream, man.
Yeah, I like the sunshine. So you probably 10 years time, you'll probably find me wherever the sun is.
Guys, go check out Chris Smith on Instagram. Just see his day-to-day life.
Big car Chris.
Big car Chris. Go check him out. And you know what? He's an amazing guy. He's been there for me for 7 years now. And you know what? If you ever see this guy towering over the crowds, walking towards you, go and shake his hand. Be proud of him being a Brit. Be proud of him being a motorhead. And yeah, I'll see you next week on another episode of Make or Break. And don't eat yellow snow, because in Texas it's too hot.
Thanks, Sam. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
Quick reminder, hit that subscribe button, the like button, and then the bell button, so you get alerts when we release new episodes, and follow us on social media too for extra stuff and more alerts about videos we're releasing, which at the moment is every Sunday and the odd Wednesday too. Bye for now.